And my hope is that it will empower other creators, entrepreneurs, and small business owners to be able to focus on their bread and butter, their core
Mhm.
business, while still organically growing on social media. Because the number one thing I hear from business owners, entrepreneurs, content creators, it's overwhelming. It's too overwhelming. Too many platforms. I have to post too frequently. I don't know what to write about. I'm staring at a blank page and I don't know what to do.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Darby here, joined today by Sabrina Romanoff from Blotato, a powerful tool for helping you remix content and grow your brand and your business on social media. Sabrina, thanks so much for tuning in with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about what sparked the creation of this tool. I know you've had some background in AI, and we're here at the Scale with AI Summit to learn how to leverage and grow our businesses with AI. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your background, and then
Yeah,
like
sure.
what is this tool that you've developed, and how can people use it to practically scale their business online?
Yeah, so my background's computer science and physics. I studied AI in college. Right out of college, I started an AI company that did real-time speech recognition, natural language processing well before ChatGPT. Sold the company in early 2021 to a big tech company that's doing 1 billion in revenue. And that was my first success as an entrepreneur right out of college. It took a few years, honestly, like trying to figure out what to do next. And I realized one thing I'm really passionate about is educating people on how to use AI. And I do that entirely for free. So in the past 6 months or so, I've grown organically from zero to almost 400,000 followers on social media on multiple platforms. So TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, my newsletter, Twitter, hopefully Pinterest next, maybe Facebook as well. We'll see. And a lot of that process in the beginning was very manual, like taking courses, reading what other content creators are doing, testing ChatGPT prompts, building workflow automations to do things like pull this interesting YouTube video that I just saw, or pull this trending news that just broke, pull a couple of those articles, and then synthesize it into a blog post that I can share or a social media post that I can share. And what ended up happening in my process is I documented a lot of what I was doing. So I was building these workflow automations for content creation and repurposing. And people reached out to me saying, hey, I want more of those videos. I want more of that for my business so that I can focus on my business, but organically attract my audience, attract a following, attract clients while not having to spend a bunch of time on it. But then what happened is I'd make all of these videos and I found out business owners are too busy to put together like workflow automations and troubleshoot them. And you still have to piece together multiple disparate tools. So back in probably August, I was still paying for 5 different tools for creating content because I'm on so many different channels. And what I realized is I should probably build an app that consolidates my best AI automations, my best prompts, my best workflows to make it easier for myself and also for other people to be able to create high quality content at scale. So I currently push out 100 pieces of content per week, zero ad spend. So literally my only budget is for tools, and I've reduced that budget by building my own tool. So I no longer pay for 5 disparate tools that I piece together to create content. And that was really the birth of Blotato. And because I had an audience, it was very easy for me to validate it. I made one TikTok video sharing, hey guys, I have an idea. Thousands of views, hundreds of comments within a day. Boom, validated. And then I filmed myself building the MVP, which looking back was crazy because now it's spun up a bunch of competitors who are trying to do the same thing. But I filmed myself using AI to code the MVP 100%. And you can imagine that was really fun to do. A lot of people ran with that and are trying to do their own versions right now.
Mhm.
And then officially launched the product just 8 days ago. And literally by day 3 of the product launch, I have more revenue than in my previous AI startup. And that's the power of building an audience. And I just want to emphasize built the audience entirely for free. So zero ad spend. I'm not against ads, by the way. I was curious like how far I could go without a budget, without a team. It's just me and AI, no ad spend, growing the team organically, and then building this product organically. And my hope is that it will empower other creators, entrepreneurs, and small business owners to be able to focus on their bread and butter, their core
Mhm.
business, while still organically growing on social media. Because the number one thing I hear from business owners, entrepreneurs, content creators, it's overwhelming. It's too overwhelming. Too many platforms. I have to post too frequently. I don't know what to write about. I'm staring at a blank page and I don't know what to do. And that's the pain point I get hearing over and over. So what Blotato lets you do is as you're naturally organically browsing content anyway, let's say you find a cool YouTube video, you can drop it into Blotato, it pulls the transcript, runs it through ChatGPT and generates a publish ready social media post for you. And then you can copy it to LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. boom, schedule it out right there. And so you have the workflow to pull the data from like interesting sources of information that you're naturally searching through anyway. Just as you go through your day, you hear breaking news in your industry, or like interesting discussions come out, or people will refer a YouTube video, a blog post, even TikTok videos. I can repurpose my own TikTok videos into other short form content super quickly, super easily. And that's kind of what I built it for. And just really excited to be working with other entrepreneurs, other content creators who are trying to build their brand.
Yeah, and I love how simple it was to even just get up. And I've made a few posts with it so far. And again, just started testing it out recently, but it's incredible how powerful that can be once you have the distribution and things set up in place. And I would love to, if you're open to sharing a little bit about your workflow, maybe behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes of the tool, how could somebody just get up, started, and again, busy business owner, entrepreneur, got more than enough things on your plate. How can someone get simply and quickly get set up with
Yeah,
Blotato
absolutely.
to start getting their content out there and growing an audience more organically?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to show a demo as well. Is it cool if I share my
Yeah,
screen? Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Let me share. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So the name of the product is called Blotato. So just head over to blotato.com and sign up here. It has a 14-day free trial as well as a 30-day money back guarantee and a one-to-one onboarding call with me personally, because I want to make sure every person who signs up and is willing to pay and is taking this seriously gets what they need to get started. And so once you log in, sign up and everything, this is the first page. And literally within 2 minutes, I'll show you how to make 5 amazing social media posts. So the concept around Blotato is that there's sources of information, and then you want to remix it easily into social media posts where you can add your perspective, your unique insights on top. You don't have to worry about like the formatting of the post because we have AI prompts that already have consolidated best practices for each social media platform. So here, for example, let's add a source. You can add text, you can copy paste text here, articles, websites, YouTube videos, TikTok videos. It now integrates with perplexity.ai, for example, which is what I use to find viral trending news in my niche. Audio podcasts, audio recordings. A lot of people like to just like spitball on audio notes, maybe while they're hiking or doing something else, and then transform that into a blog post. PDFs, especially if you're in a field with a lot of research papers, archives, ebooks, you can drop that all in here as sources. For this example, I'm just going to grab 2 YouTube videos from Gary Vee, of course, for social media marketing. So this one's about complete social media marketing strategy for 2025. And then the next video is your full social media marketing strategy in 8 minutes. So here I'll add this YouTube video, paste the URL. And now what Blotato is going to do is automatically fetch the transcript for that YouTube video. You can see it here. You can do additional advanced things. Let's say instead of the entire transcript, you just want to extract the 10 most controversial quotes from this video. That's like kind of an advanced option, but you can do that for every single source you upload. Okay. And then let's just take that one video. Actually, no, let's upload a second video as well. Why not? These are both related topics. And so what I like to do is I'll upload multiple sources around the same topic. So if I'm writing about breaking news, something just OpenAI just released a new model, I'll take a couple different sources of information, mash them in here, and then remix it into social media posts. So here you just select what you want to create. Maybe you want to start with one LinkedIn post. I'll do multiple social media posts like this. It'll pop open Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. This ChatGPT prompt on the right hand side is already preloaded with an optimized prompt for that platform, but you can always use your own prompts or use an existing prompt from this library that you get when you sign up. So you can pretty much type anything here. You can edit the prompts as you want to fit your style, to fit your brand, etc. And then here, once this is populated, just click generate for each platform that you want to generate for. And then it's going to go ahead, take the data from the YouTube videos, run it through this prompt, and spit out your LinkedIn post. Boom. Spit out your Instagram post. Boom. Spit out your Facebook post in a second. Boom. And Facebook, for example, like emojis are a little more okay. So this prompt, it allows the use of emojis as bullet points. And yeah, that was the main thing, but I can talk more about it. I don't know if you want me to
Yeah,
go
no, I mean,
further.
I love how fast you're able to get in, source some content, and then break it down. And so I know something that might come up when you're looking at the prompts and the style here is, okay, that's great, but like, how do I optimize it or edit it? And so I'm curious, like, from your perspective, what is your approach with turning this and taking this maybe 80% of the way their content and turning it
Exactly.
100%?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I built this for, really. I could have designed this to automate 100% of AI content, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe that stands out. That's not what I do to build my personal thought leadership brand. And so I use Blotato to build 75% of the post, what I call the first draft, and then I edit it from here. So let's say I go back to LinkedIn. Let's say I don't like this. Like I want to try another prompt, or I want to take another stab at it. Maybe I want structured bullet points for LinkedIn for easy readability. I can choose a different prompt. I can edit this prompt. So in each prompt, there's a guidelines section where you can put your preferences and things for the post. So this is where I would put any specific guidelines that I want that apply to my business. And then you can edit it here, just like a traditional editor. Let's say I just want to remove these two sections. It's a full-blown text editor as well. And so I draft it with Blotato 70, 80%, and then edit it as needed. Let's say I want to do additional research here. I actually integrated ChatGPT as well on this sidebar. That was a new feature since last
Oh,
week.
cool.
And yeah, if I want to say something like, who is Gary Vee? Just, you can type anything here. But the point is, as you're writing the prompt, let's say, it's missing something. I want to do a little more research. So you have ChatGPT right here on your sidebar to help you with that research. Let's say it's a more scientific article and you're like, maybe I should expand on the definition of what this is, because maybe my readers don't know. You could say, hey, what is the definition of this? Explain it to me like I'm 12 years old. Copy paste that back into the editor here. And that's how continually improve your post until you're happy with it and ready to publish.
Very cool. Do you see integrations with Perplexity on here as well? Or any thoughts like, or as you're building this out to continue to grow as a platform, are you wanting to be the all-in-one like content repurposing tool? Or like, can you share a little bit more about what your vision looks like for 2025 with this?
Yeah, I basically want to take everything I do as a content creator across all platforms, including faceless video, and put it in here. I want to be like the one-stop shop for a content creator to get up and running really quickly, and also to be able to scale content creation. To answer your question about Perplexity, I currently have it as a source. So one of my favorite ways to use Perplexity as a source is to find viral trending news. So here I'm just pasting a prompt that I like, and this will use Perplexity AI to find viral trending news about AI this past week. It'll give you the article URL, a summary of each news item, etc. And so I love that one, especially to report on new startups, for example, like AI startups that just raised funding, new things that are happening. Obviously, these are controversial because I asked for viral trending news. And so there's a lot of going on in terms of lawsuits. Parents are suing the school over AI. I made a TikTok video on this that did really well, actually. Deep fakes are a concern, obviously, during election season, this type of stuff. But the point is, you can change. I just put AI as a topic, but you can change this to your niche, whether it's remote work, leadership, productivity, whatever it may be.
Yeah, like I'm a baseball fan. I'm watching the World Series right now. What's the trending topics on the World Series, or what are people
Exactly.
talking about?
Yeah.
It's going to pull that stuff up, and you could quickly get it out there on the social platforms. Is this give you the ability, or do you plan on the ability to have you interact and monitor like comments and engage with people, as this being kind of a portal to those platforms to manage social engagements as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's in the future. The way I truly think about it is everything I do manually as a content creator today, can I automate it? So usually my prototype is some kind of automation in Zapier or Pipedream or Make.com. Because if I can automate it using those tools, then for sure I can build it into Blotato. And so what I like to do, for example, what I'm doing with faceless video right now is I'm experimenting with a lot of different tools, a lot of different workflows, libraries, open source models, and trying to see what actually works. And then when I find what works, then I build it into Blotato so that everyone else can have access to it too. And so that I have access to it in a very repeatable way. And so that's my process in general for all of Blotato development. So when I look at things like comments, there are tools today that allow you to either auto DM people back or even Chrome extensions. So you can do AI generated comments on LinkedIn. Very cringy. I'm not personally a huge fan, but I do want to consolidate all my comments in one place, right? So I can just answer them all because it's really painful. Multiple channels, multiple comments. I have like hundreds, if not thousands, of comments every day. Like, how do I manage that as a creator? And so that's just my Blotato roadmap is just to slowly take everything I do as a content creator and put it in one app so you don't have to go anywhere else. Like I said, when I started this, I was paying for 5 different tools for this. So one for LinkedIn posting, one for Twitter posting, one for scheduling just being able to schedule, push stuff out, and manage it. One was Airtable to manage the prompts and how I pull them in and keep track of all my published posts as well. So having a database of published posts, and then a workflow automation tool for to be able to grab data from YouTube and then push it to ChatGPT and then take the output and then publish it somewhere. So I replaced like all 5 of those tools. Like even for published posts, here I keep track of all of the published posts and it has a RAG on top, meaning like you can ask intelligent questions of your posts. In the future, you'll be able to hook it up to a chatbot. So you can have a creator specific chatbot that knows all of your content and sends people to relevant social links so that they can engage more deeply in your content in your community. And so I have a very big vision for what it will be, but it's just me working on it part-time because I'm still creating content. So I don't know, it's been a wild ride. I'm curious to see how far I can go.
Yeah, no, that's great. Real quickly, if you wouldn't
Yeah.
mind just touching on what RAG means in context of what a creator is going to be able
Oh,
to tap into with this.
yeah, absolutely. So rack is it's just a fancy term of adding additional context to AI so it knows what you're talking about. So the context in which people have heard about it is knowledge bases.
Hmm.
So in customer service, an AI chatbot will typically have access to a knowledge base containing common questions, product details, and things like that. And then you use the technique called RAG to basically retrieve relevant items from that knowledge base so that your chatbot has a bit more intelligence when it answers. And so what I want to do in the future is create a chatbot like for myself as a creator that all of my audience can just message with questions and it'll answer like with my brain based on all of my published content and it'll redirect them to other pieces of content that they haven't seen. There's another problem I encounter frequently is people will follow me on TikTok and not realize I have in-depth tutorials on YouTube, not realize I have a whole beginner ChatGPT course in my newsletter. And so I really have been for a while, I've been wanting like a chatbot specific to creators. And this solves that problem because it consolidates all of your published posts and you'll be able to expose it to a chatbot platform to query like, oh, where did Sabrina talk about this particular AI course? Like maybe somebody asked that and it'll be able to query all your published posts and pull it out.
I think that's really cool. I've seen tools in the past that have tried to approach that problem
Mm-hmm.
in one way or the other, but you still had to bring all of your stuff to the platform, and
That's
like
the hardest part. Yeah.
it's just
The
a lot of
most
stuff to
painful
tie it
part.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, the most painful part is because I tried to build this in workflow, and you technically can. I'm not saying you can't build it in make.com, but it's quite tedious because you have to sync all of your content into one place. So you have
Mhm.
to set all that up first before the chatbot starts working. And then again, you're paying for a separate tool. So a lot of people use Airtable, for example, to like track all of their published posts.
Mhm.
But here, because you're publishing through Blotato, we'll be able to track all of it for you. And so you don't need a separate place to document it. And in addition, you'll be able to easily remix old posts into new posts. So repurposing your own content. So for example, on LinkedIn and Twitter, content's very ephemeral. If they didn't see it, like they're probably not going to see it ever in the future.
Yeah.
But which kind of feels like a waste sometimes. How do you make content more evergreen? Well, you can tap into that old post and like in the future I'll just have a button here so you can just remix the post directly.
Oh, that's great. And assuming the answer is yes, it's on the roadmap because you need to see analytics and stats and tracking like that.
Yeah.
So this post did great. Here's some of the numbers, and I imagine that's something that you have in your vision for building into here.
Yeah, definitely in the future. I do want to be able to build out more features for agencies, for example,
Hmm.
and certainly things like analytics, white labeling, managing multiple client accounts, and things like that are top of mind for digital marketing agencies.
Very cool. And I think like the question that now comes to my mind is that once you've effectively cloned yourself and you have your process optimized to such a degree that you can just hop in, you got all your stuff being managed, you're out there, you're across all platforms, and you're scaling up your organic growth. Like, how are you spending your time? What do you want to be spending your time doing more of outside of the content creation world as a professional creator? Are there any levers that you're looking to that you see most valuable for where is your time spent now that you're not having to spend all this extra time and hours manually going through these processes that maybe
Mhm.
yourself as a creator, as a professional, or where you would see other creators valuable spending time? I think building relationships is like obviously like an important part of any of this, probably the most important, but any thoughts on that realm?
So my philosophy in general for creating content is to maximize the amount of time I spend actually doing stuff. And so people ask me all the time, how do you get ideas for all this AI content? Like it's like endless. And I'm like, well, that's because I actually spend most of my time building things with AI. Blotato itself is a source of ideas. Like just 2 days ago, I deployed an AI customer support chatbot. And now I plan to make videos about how you can do that too, what's worked well, what's not worked well, some guardrails you might want to put in place to make sure escalations go to you when they need to. Last week, I made videos about using AI to create help documentation because that's what I was actively doing for Blotato. And so when I look at content creation in general, it's how do I time box it to 20 hours per week, but also be growing the number and quality of content I'm producing. Because right now I'm about 100 pieces of content per week. I want to get to 200 pieces of content per week with Blotato. And that doesn't necessarily mean new content. For example, things like taking existing TikTok videos, translating them into Spanish using HeyGen, and it even makes it look like you're speaking Spanish. And I've had a lot of Spanish speakers comment like that was surprising. It's surprisingly good for the major languages for Spanish. And then posting that on a TikTok channel that's focused on Latin America. Like I would create a separate TikTok account focused on that geography and repurpose my videos over there. And so that helps me increase volume, increase my reach in demographics that I'm just currently not in. Because I just keep in the back of my mind, I don't really have that big of an audience when you consider like how many people in the world could be learning AI and adopting AI today. So there's a very long way to go. And so, yeah, I'm just constantly playing that battle. Like, how do I produce more and higher quality, but also how do I automate it so that it doesn't actually take more time? I expect to be able to produce 200 pieces of content per week given the same amount of time, in other words. And so I that's how I think about Blotato. And it's like, how do I prioritize features to enable me to get there?
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And having that time constraint, everyone
Yeah.
has the same amount of hours in a day. So what's that you're willing to put on yourself for time that you're spending? But then here it's there's so many people in the world that have not even heard about Sabrina, much less Darby, much less so many of us. But there's so much opportunity for what I hear is a big takeaway is you're spending that additional time focusing on systems and like optimizing your production process, but also setting up new distribution channels, entirely new audiences that you're not even
Yeah.
scratching the surface of. And that's a very highly leveraged way to spend your time. I think a lot of creators coming into this, like the more time that content creation gets, you can spend automating. How are you being strategic about those distribution channels and getting
Mm-hmm.
that stuff set up is a powerful lens to focus through.
Yeah, and I was biased in the beginning. I didn't think that reusing the same TikTok video, for example, on Instagram would actually work. I thought to myself, but they're totally different platforms, different audiences. There's no way, like, I'll just cross post it without any changes and that'll work. But I was wrong. Like, I accidentally went viral on Instagram multiple times, never checked it. Like, I don't actively use Instagram today. I'm primarily on TikTok for social, but I grew from like 0 to 100,000 followers on Instagram in 2 months just by repurposing the exact same TikTok videos. And so that really blew my mind and opened my mind. First of all, they're totally different audiences. And I don't think I realized that. I just assumed they would be the same audience. I don't know why I assumed that. But now I know that they are different audiences. I'm thinking to myself, how do I repurpose the content I already have to new channels, new demographics, new audiences on without having to do any additional work after I set up the automation?
Oh, that's great. And for one last little piece to leave people with when we wrap up here, if you were to start over completely from scratch and give yourself that you know right now some advice for starting over from scratch and just getting started, they have a Blotato account and they have their mind. What would you recommend someone do to get started and start building up some traction right away?
So, for example, I meet a lot of people who want to start creating AI education content. And what I tell them is use Blotato, repurpose all of my YouTube and TikTok videos, add your spin on each one, and just publish 5 times a day. Like, just choose maybe 2 channels and publish 5 times a day across those 2 channels. And that's it. Just do that for 2 months. Get your system in place so that you're doing it consistently, so that you're not. A lot of people get overwhelmed, too many tools, too many, they don't know where to start, like all of this. Just start by repurposing my own AI education videos, use Blotato to do it. That's why I built it, and just start getting volume out there. I really think people underrate volume at the beginning, Because in the beginning, you don't even know what you don't know. And people have a lot of ego and fear and insecurity, especially when it comes to being on camera and putting their voice out there. And usually in the beginning, the cure for that is a lot of volume as fast as possible. Like after the 100th video, you'll be much more comfortable on camera. After the 100th post, you'll be much more comfortable like sharing your real opinions. It's just very awkward in the beginning, but I just encourage people to get over that as fast as possible.
No, that's great advice. And that those reps are just going to compound. You're going to develop the skills over time, and then you get better and figure out what actually works for you. So thank you so
Exactly.
much,
Yeah.
Sabrina. Yeah, it was fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in with us here at the Scale with AI Summit. And again, blotato.com. You guys go check it out. Start remixing content, start growing your audience organically, and just get out there and get some reps in and be consistent with it and see what unfolds for you. Thanks so much, Sabrina.
Oh, thanks for having me.